Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Suzanne with Arvabelle. So this week we've had some interesting things happen in the financial space. A few days ago, Charles Schwab announced that they are going to start offering $0 commissions. And as of when this video is being posted today, October 3rd, TD Ameritrade is also starting to offer $0 commissions. So how did this happen in the first place? What does this mean for you? And what does this mean for both large brokerages and small brokerages moving forward? If you're not already subscribed to the channel, remember to hit the subscribe button and hit the like button for more videos on money, investing, and business. First, we're going to look at why these large brokerages are now going to $0 commissions when historically they're pretty notorious for charging pretty high commissions to use their services and to execute trades on their platforms. Their transition to $0 commissions is largely because of smaller platforms like M1 Finance and Robinhood and Webull that have been gaining traction in the last few years. If you've been following the news or the financial space at all, you've seen that platforms like Robinhood have really picked up traction, especially among millennials within the last year or so. They run very effective influencer and affiliate marketing campaigns. A lot of their marketing tactic has simply just been based on the fact that they have low or no fees and $0 commissions, and that has attracted a lot of millennials to use their platforms. Until apps like Robinhood, that was pretty much unheard of to have $0 commissions and no fees, because way back in the day, to execute a trade, you had to pick up the phone, call a stockbroker, tell them what you want, they would hang up the phone, call someone else, put in your order, put down the phone, call you back, tell you what they got it for. Like, it was a whole process and it was expensive, so they had really high commissions. Then enter the age of more the digital world, and these brokerages started having options online, but they also had brick and mortar locations that you could physically go into to execute orders if you wanted to do it that way. It wasn't until more recently that you could execute all of your trades online without having to physically talk to a person or interact with a person at all, but the commissions still stayed there and people got used to paying $10, and that was lowered down to like $7, $6, $5 as the companies got more and more competitive. But then enter Robinhood and M1 Finance and Webull, who were offering $0 commissions, and that totally disrupted the entire industry. Definitely when these newer platforms started emerging, people were like, is this a scam? Like, how are these companies making money? And that is a several part answer. So one reason that they are largely able to offer $0 commissions is because they don't have any physical locations and their customer service is not quite up to par with the larger companies. So if you've ever tried to call TD Ameritrade, they like answer your question before you can even ask it. But if you've ever tried to contact Robinhood, M1 Finance, or Webull, you know that it takes a while for them to get back to you. It's not an immediate answer, and you can't really get real-time help. But for a lot of people, that really wasn't a major factor because they weren't interacting with anyone unless they had a minor problem. Another way that these smaller companies have been able to make money instead of through commissions is through the ask and bid spread. So without getting too much into it, when you buy or sell a stock, there are people that are willing to sell at a certain price and there are people willing to buy at a certain price. And the gap in between there is called the spread. So they would make a little bit of their money through that gap. Once people started to understand how these smaller companies were making money, people started signing up, and especially millennials, because there was a very, very low barrier to entry compared to the larger companies. You didn't have to have a minimum balance, so you didn't have to have thousands of dollars saved up, and there were no fees. So with the larger brokerages, if you only had $1,000 to trade with, but you were paying $10 per trade, like that, it made the barrier to entry a little bit more difficult. Whereas with a smaller company like Robinhood, you could just get started with any amount that you had. So now that larger companies like Charles Schwab and like TD Ameritrade are starting to adopt this $0 commission thing, that's great for you. Basically what that means for you is that you have a lot more options for where you want to open your retirement accounts, where you want to invest in your normal standard brokerage accounts. You just have a lot more options available to you now. But I'm not entirely sure what that's going to mean for the larger brokerages brokerages or for the smaller brokerages going forward. And this is entirely me speculating, but they're losing a lot of revenue by going from $5 or $6 or $7 commissions down to zero. So I think they are going to have to make that up in other areas of their business. I'm just not sure how they're going to do it yet. I think that I could definitely see them raising fees in other areas or for certain services that their platforms offer. I could see them shutting down physical locations or maybe cutting back a little bit on customer service. I think we'll kind of just have to wait and see what happens and what these larger brokerages choose to do. So potential areas that I could see them potentially adding on fees, and again, this is just me speculating, but if you choose to get a financial advisor through one of these brokerages, I could see those fees going up. Even like with TD Ameritrade, I feel like a very large draw to the platform is actually for their Thinkorswim platform for technical traders. I could definitely see them like adding on a subscription cost to use that platform. I'm not sure that they would actually do that, but I feel like it would make sense because then they wouldn't be making as much money, but they wouldn't be losing that revenue entirely from day traders. They could also potentially make money from the ask bid spread as well, but with the larger companies, I'm not sure that I see that as a way that they would necessarily want to make money. I don't know. I think we'll just have to wait and see, but I definitely think that we can expect to see a change either in these companies' physical presence, in the quality of their services, or in the pricing of some of their other services. Now, as far as the smaller brokerages go, I'm not sure exactly what that's going to mean for them either, because before, if their main marketing strategy and their main draw to the companies was like, hey, look, millennials, we're almost kind of like the big companies, but we have $0 commissions and no fees. Now that marketing tactic is kind of gone, so I'm interested to see what direction they'll take that in. I also think that in order to be able to compete with the larger brokerages, these smaller brokerages are going to have to start making very big advances in what they're doing and in their technology in order to be able to compete. But you could also argue that the whole draw of these three companies, of Robinhood, M1 Finance, and Webull, is that they are so simple and so beginner friendly, and there's a very low barrier to entry, but the platforms themselves are just very simplified. And that's something that I don't think the larger brokerages are very interested in. They, in my opinion, don't really have an interest in getting beginner traders onto their platforms. They kind of just want the people that already have money and already sort of know maybe what they're doing. I just think it's going to be really interesting to see what all of these companies' marketing strategies and growth strategies are going to be moving forward, because Gen Z and millennials, we are a very different demographic than what the large brokerages have dealt with before. And I think these smaller platforms, M1 Finance, Robinhood, and Webull, have all done a very good job of marketing to us in the sense of being like, hey, you don't have a lot of money, that's okay, come invest with us, don't invest with big corporations. And it's their marketing strategies with influencers and with affiliate marketing has been really, really effective for our generations. So in a way, they're kind of forging the way in the financial space, but I think we are going to see some very, very interesting changes in the next few months or the next few years. So let me know down in the comments what changes you think that we'll see, or if you think that there are any other reasons behind why these companies are going to $0 commissions, because honestly, I don't know what's going to happen, but I think it'll be very interesting to watch. So as always, remember to hit the subscribe button for more videos on money, investing, and business. And remember to drop a like on this video. If you want to learn how to use a platform like M1 Finance, I will link to my review video walking through the platform up here. And I guess now I'll have to make videos on all the other ones that are now starting to offer $0 commissions. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys next time.